We predict that this convergence of events is going to have a massive effect on crypto prices, far beyond the gains that we've seen over the last couple of months. Because as we'll show you over the next few minutes, each of these bullish events on its own is enough to drive up Bitcoin and other cryptos to new highs. But when all three come together at the same time, as they're expected to over the next few weeks, it could mean a crypto bull market of unprecedented proportions, even bigger than previous bull markets in which select coins brought back returns like 2,001%, 5,400%, 10,200%, even 23,400%. Our special guest today is Juan Villaverde, and he believes that the recent run-up in the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a handful of other coins is just a preview of things to come. He's convinced that once-in-a-lifetime crypto gains are in front of us, and it's all because of this great convergence of bullish events happening all at the same time. In the next few weeks, perhaps even sooner, Juan believes this will be the beginning of a nearly 2-year bull market that could send Bitcoin to new highs, perhaps reaching $140,000 or more. And if history is any indicator, smaller altcoins could soar 10,200%, 23,400%. One particular coin, as a matter of fact, even went up 531,785% in very similar circumstances to our current market. So $1,000 into that coin alone would have returned over $5 million. This is the kind of bull market we could be in for, according to Juan Villaverde. Now, for those who do not know Juan, he is a world-renowned mathematician with a focus on markets and cycles. To our knowledge here at Weiss, Juan is the first person to create a timing model used to trade cryptos. In fact, Juan released this timing model to the public in early 2018. As you recall, that was at the very height of cryptomania. And he called both the top and bottom for Bitcoin accurate to within a few days. If you'd bought on the day that Juan predicted the bottom, you'd have made 20.1 times your money on Bitcoin, enough to turn a $10,000 investment into $200,832. Ethereum, the silver to Bitcoin's gold, went even higher, increasing 54 times over. That was enough to turn a $10,000 investment into over $545,760. And there were a few other coins that did even better than that. Cardano surged 102x, turning $10,000 into $1,020,648. And Chainlink topped all of them. That one rose 234 times, which could have grown an initial $10,000 investment into an asset worth $2,338,746. So today, Juan is going to reveal the inner workings of his crypto timing model, and particularly, he's going to share what it has to say about 2024, and he's also going to show us why this bull market could be the greatest in crypto history, because there are three major market-moving events expected to happen within weeks, perhaps even days, of each other. And if they do, Juan is predicting the crypto bull market will launch into overdrive. Today, Juan is going to explain what those three key crypto events are, why he expects them to happen in the first quarter of 2024, and why there are a few specific coins that he believes will benefit the most. He's going to share the details about all of those coins. He'll show us the best way to invest before these signals flash green. And again, these three signals will be the impetus for the surge ahead, a convergence with no precedent in crypto history. But you don't have to just take my word for it. Let's bring in the expert himself right now. Juan Villaverde is in Spain. He is here to help us break it down. Hello, Juan, and great to see you again.
Hi, Chris. It's always nice to join you.
You know, you heard my briefing just now, what I said to everybody viewing at home about the situation at hand, what you're calling the crypto convergence. Can you take a moment and explain to us exactly what that means?
We're on the verge of three extremely bullish crypto events, Chris. Each of these events is powerful enough to launch a bull market on its own. But through sheer luck and circumstance, all three of these events are expected to happen at the same time, making this perhaps the best time to buy crypto in history. At worst, I expect this crypto convergence will be complete by April. But things are moving so quickly, these signals could happen even sooner. In fact, I've got some breaking news to share with you right now, Chris. Our first signal has already happened. That's how quickly events are moving and how fast these cryptocurrencies are rising.
Right. So let's talk about this. What is the first signal or event, as you call it?
It's both an event and a signal, Chris. This is a specific event that just happened days ago. This will be the spark that leads to a roaring prairie fire when it comes to market participation. The SEC has approved a Bitcoin ETF run by $9 trillion Wall Street giant BlackRock, and I expect dozens of others from reputable Wall Street firms like Fidelity, Invesco, WisdomTree, ARK Investments, and Valkyrie could all be approved in the next few days as well.
So what would these ETF approvals mean specifically for the crypto market?
It's very simple, Chris. Once these ETFs go live, a lot more people will be able to invest in crypto. Right now, you have to be an enthusiast. There are a number of steps, either mining it yourself or opening a wallet and then figuring out which sources to buy from. When approval happens, you literally just click a button and buy an ETF that tracks the price of Bitcoin but does all the rest for you. A whole new set of market participants will jump in because it's easy, and it will be backed by a massive Wall Street bank, so there's at least the illusion of safety. Estimates are that over $3 billion worth of investment money would pour into one of these Bitcoin ETFs in the first few days of trading alone.
That's pretty exciting. So obviously that would have a massive impact on prices, right?
That's right. That's why I say just this one bullish event could be enough to move Bitcoin prices. The Wall Street Journal said BlackRock ETF approval would have an electric effect on the crypto market. Standard Chartered believes ETF approval will be enough to push Bitcoin to $100,000 by the end of 2024. That's nearly double its current price. But I tell you what, Chris, I think it will hit $100,000 a lot sooner than that. Because while BlackRock's ETF approval is a majorly bullish event, it's only the first of 3 different events that make up the crypto convergence. The next 2 will happen in the coming days.
I see. All right. What's the next signal? Tell us about that one.
It's a very rare occurrence in the crypto world, but it has a massive impact on prices. This will be the 4th event of its kind. Every time the price of Bitcoin and other coins has spiked. I'm talking about the Bitcoin halving.
Halving. I have heard that term, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure I could actually define it. Tell us what that means.
I don't want to bore you or our viewers with a bunch of technical details. But in short, Bitcoin is handed out to miners in so-called blocks. In the early days of crypto, these blocks were valued at 50 Bitcoin. The creators of Bitcoin, however, created a mechanism to devalue these blocks after a certain period of time. So, for every 210,000 blocks mined, the price of blocks will be cut in half. We're expected to reach another halving by this April. Some experts have even pinpointed a date, April 14th.
April 14th. How many halvings have taken place?
In the history of Bitcoin, there have been 3 halvings. This one in April would be the 4th, and they're expected to continue until roughly 2140, when it's predicted that all of the Bitcoin will be mined.
And how do these halvings, when they occur, how do they affect the price of Bitcoin? Because it seems to me like it's designed to drive the price up.
That's how it's worked out in every other halving, Chris. The first Bitcoin halving happened in November 28, 2012. In less than a year, Bitcoin's price went from $12 to $1,032, an 8,500% increase.
Right. So just putting $10,000 into Bitcoin before the first halving would have brought back $850,000.
Yes, the second Bitcoin halving came on July 9th, 2016. Over the next year and a half, the price rose from $651 to $20,089. That's a 2,985% gain.
So almost 3,000%. $10,000 invested there before that halving becomes nearly $300,000.
It happened again in 2020. On May 11, 2020, in the middle of the COVID crisis, the third Bitcoin halving took place. And just like the first 2, the price rocketed up soon after. Over the next 18 months, Bitcoin surged from $8,787 to an all-time high of around $66,000. That is a return of 651%, Chris.
Right. So the Bitcoin halving has historically, that's been enough to drive the price of Bitcoin by itself. Lowest gain, I think, was 6 times your money, you said. Now a halving is coming again. just weeks after the approval of the first Bitcoin ETF ever. So let me ask you this. How high do you think the price of Bitcoin could actually go?
Obviously, it's hard to speculate, but my estimates are that Bitcoin could reach $140,000 or more, 4 or 5 times higher than recent lows. And that's great. I wouldn't sniff at a four-bagger, but that's not where the real money is made during the Bitcoin halving, Chris. It's the smaller altcoins where you have a shot to make the really huge fortunes in crypto. And I don't want to make baseless predictions that put unrealistic goals in our viewers' heads. But let me just show you the effect the most recent Bitcoin halving had on smaller alternative coins.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you don't mind, let me interrupt for just a second, Juan. Why would these other smaller coins see price increases just because Bitcoin had a halving? I mean, how are those two things related?
Because Bitcoin is the anchor for the whole market. And when more money starts flowing into Bitcoin for whatever reason, whether it's an ETF approval or a halving event, more money also flows into other coins. Naturally, some investors are going to be looking for a bigger gain. As you saw, Bitcoin's returns, while still impressive, have gone down with every halving, which makes sense as the coin becomes more mature and more liquid. As a result, not every investment dollar is going to pour into Bitcoin. More adventurous, speculative investors will look for solid coins with high potential. And those investments have paid off big in every halving. Because in every halving, there's been a consistent set of coins that comes from zero and skyrockets. While Bitcoin's gains may get smaller with each halving, there's no ceiling on what a newer, exciting crypto project can do in the wake of a post-halving bull market. For example, just a year after the 2020 Bitcoin halving, a number of alternative crypto projects went through the roof. Ethereum jumped 1,800% in the wake of the Bitcoin halving. Another well-known name like Cardano went up 2,986% in the next 12 months. Binance went up 4,222%.
Yeah. Wow. Every single one of those winners could have returned a lot of money for investors. It's amazing to me, Juan. It seems almost too easy. Wait for a Bitcoin halving and then invest.
And I've only shared the gains from a few more well-known, well-traded coins here, Chris. A few others literally brought back a lottery ticket type of returns. Thorchain seemed to be going nowhere before the 2020 halving, sitting at just 11 cents. Less than a year later, it was up 27%, enough to turn a small $5,000 investment into over $1 million. Solana was virtually unheard of at the time of the last halving, sitting at just 63 cents. But 18 months later, it was up 41,198%. Just $1,500 invested would have brought back over $500,000. Of course, these are some of the most extreme examples of gains. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but this is the kind of thing that can happen in the wake of a Bitcoin halving.
Right, big numbers. So we should be looking to buy altcoins before the Bitcoin halving happens in April. Is that what we're saying?
Perhaps a few of them, Chris, but you should be very careful and selective. I don't recommend every single altcoin. There are a lot of phonies and scams out there. In fact, I think there's only a small handful worth your money. These are the coins that I think will really explode as these events play out.
Right, and you're going to share details on those coins with us in just a moment, right?
That's right. I'm going to give everybody watching this video a chance to learn what coins are the best way to play this coming bull market. In every crypto bull market, there are new coins that come out of the woodwork and become part of the crypto establishment. If you can identify them ahead of time or early in the run-up, you could make a fortune on these new superstars of the space. I've developed a system for doing that, and the results have been excellent. Overall, since inception, the average gain of my tried and true systems is 201%, and that includes the losers.
Wow. Cannot wait to hear which cryptos you are going to recommend, Juan. But I do want to clarify something first. You said at the outset here, we established there are 3 major events coming for crypto. We just got Bitcoin ETF approval. Then we have the Bitcoin halving, supposed to happen sometime in April. Both of those events are enough to drive up the price of cryptos on their own. But you said there's a third event that's going to combine with those first two to create, I guess, a perfect storm type situation that you're calling the crypto convergence. And that convergence could lead to the most exciting bull market in the history of cryptos happening this year in 2024. So my next question is, what is the third event? Is it going to be the final spark for this bull market?
It has to do with my proprietary crypto timing model.
Right. The one that predicted both the top and bottom in 2018 within a matter of days. There got to be a lot of viewers out there, and I'm actually one of them too. I throw myself in this category. A lot of people must think that this is some sort of fluke or a lucky guess or, something like that. Do these bottoms and tops happen all the time, or was this just a one-off?
I'm glad you asked that question, Chris. It's probably the thing I'm asked the most by followers on Twitter or at crypto conferences. The truth is, there's indeed a pattern to how crypto trades. And with the help of some powerful computing, data analysis, and my own background as a mathematician, we were able to identify those patterns.
Right. And as far as I know, you're the first in the world to do that, right?
That's correct. Or at least I was the first to talk about it publicly. When it came to calling the top in 2018, it sure didn't win me any friends.
Yeah, of course. Those are the days of the HODL memes when cab drivers and housewives everywhere were getting rich on Bitcoin, and you were the guy telling everybody the party is over. I'm sure that didn't go over very well.
It didn't. But I felt confident because, to your point, I knew I wasn't guessing. The history of Bitcoin and crypto had shown a clear trading pattern, and in early 2018, the market was due for a correction. It showed up right on time, just as our timing model said it would.
Right. Now, Juan, before that bull market in 2017 and early 2018, very few people had even heard of crypto, right? And I guess even less were trading it. How were you able to identify a pattern in an asset that was so brand new?
I've studied market timing for years, usually related to the stock market. But I was also one of the first people to regularly trade crypto. Supposedly, this market was random, or so I was told. But market cycles are real. And when I applied my math to the crypto market, I found the same thing I found in every other market, from stocks to bonds to real estate and more. There's a distinct pattern to the way cryptocurrencies move. It typically happens over 4 years, like clockwork, every single time. I use Bitcoin as an example here, Chris, but this is true of all cryptos. But Bitcoin has had 4 bull market cycles in its history. You mentioned my big call in 2018, Chris. Let me show you how easy it was to make that call if you had my crypto timing model. Using my math and trading background, I created a proprietary algorithm that tracks the true movement of Bitcoin and other crypto assets. And when I analyzed the results, I saw that crypto, especially a mature coin like Bitcoin, trades in a very orderly pattern. I discovered there are 4 distinct phases to any Bitcoin bull market, and each phase lasts about a year. Take a look at Bitcoin's chart from 2014 through 2017. The first stage is called the Big Bear. It usually comes just after a recent peak. It lasts about a year and drives the price down. The second stage is the transition stage. Investment is starting to pick up after a breather. No new lows are made, hence the transition from bear to bull. But at this stage, we still don't see the truly big move yet. Stage 3 is the big bull, a spike that appears to reach a top, only for Bitcoin to stride into stage 4, the bigger bull, which moves the price even higher. And then the cycle starts again. It happened from 2014 through 2017.
But now this wasn't the first time that happened, right? You mentioned you already knew the cycle was due to reset in 2018. Was there a crypto bull market cycle before the one that started in 2014?
Yes, there was. Since Bitcoin began trading actively, it has enjoyed 4 bull market cycles, and each has followed a very similar pattern. Bitcoin first began trading on July 16, 2010. Anyone who bought at this early stage and held through the end of this first atypically short bull market could have made 606 times their money on this opening volley. Fast forward to November 11, 2011, when Bitcoin made its first big bottom. If investors had bought Bitcoin here and held it through the duration of the second cycle, they could have made 539 times their money.
Amazing. So those were the first two bull market cycles. 2014 to 2017 was the second big cycle. So Bitcoin investors could have made 59 times their money during that bull market. But that's also when a number of altcoins hit the scene as well. Am I right?
Yes, in every bull market, there are smaller coins that make far more than Bitcoin. Litecoin, for example, jumped 7,850%, nearly 1.5 times better than Bitcoin. Neon brought back 33,556%, 6 times more than Bitcoin. NEM returned 50,425% in 2017 alone. That is 9 times more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up less and less every time, but there's always a new coin starting at zero.
Yeah, just mind-boggling, some of those numbers. Now, eventually, you called the top of that market in early 2018. We mentioned that. Then you called the start of the third bull market cycle in late 2018. And I think it's worth revisiting how high Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a number of those smaller so-called altcoins jumped after your bullish prediction. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, if you had bought Bitcoin on the day I called the bottom, you'd have made 20 times your money on this third bull market cycle, and 54 times your money on Ethereum. But again, smaller coins would have brought back the best rewards. Cardano went up 10,200%, and Chainlink soared 23,400%. Now, some of these coins are household names, but at the start of the bull market, very few investors know about them.
One thing I noticed there in the three bull markets, Bitcoin and Ethereum's gains have gotten smaller each time. They've been gains, but they've come down in size. Still very impressive, but with each bull market, less so.
That's right, Chris. It makes sense because with each new bullish cycle, the crypto market and steady coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum become more mature. There's more liquidity, more market participation, and less unpredictable swings. So there's a bit less money to be made every time. For instance, I expect Bitcoin to hit $140,000 in this coming bull market, and that would be a big deal optically for the confidence of Bitcoin investors. But that would only be around 4 times higher than the most recent bottom, a fraction of the gains Bitcoin has made in previous bull markets. Still impressive, but not life-changing.
Right. But are life-changing gains still available in the crypto market?
Oh yes, but you have to know the right coins to buy and the right time to buy them. Luckily, our crypto timing model applies to all coins, not just Bitcoin or Ethereum. In every bull market, there's a new set of alternative coins who are thrust into the spotlight. And if you know when the bull market is coming, you can start hunting for these diamonds in the rough. This is how investors have made 102x, 234x, or more in previous bull markets. I'll share my secret weapon when it comes to identifying these promising altcoins in just a moment. When you combine this secret weapon with my timing model, it's a recipe for success. You have the potential to maximize the bull markets and minimize the downtimes.
Right, the secret weapon. Before we get to that, I think it's important that we do show our viewers exactly where we stand on your crypto timing model at the moment. Let me ask you, why are you so confident that a bull market is, in fact, on the way?
Let me make a clear distinction here for a moment, Chris. A bull market isn't just on the way. It's here, right now. It's already begun. 2022 was where we hit the big bear market. A bottom formed, and then we went through a transition year in 2023. Now, Bitcoin and every other worthwhile coin out there are moving upwards into what my research tells me will be a big bull year in 2024. That should then be followed by a bigger bull year in 2025. I hope you can see that now is the time. We're not waiting for a bull market to invest. The bull market is here. Everything is telling me the time to get in is now. With the addition of a potential Bitcoin ETF approval, and the Bitcoin halving, I believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a nearly sure-thing bull market. Bitcoin is going up. Ethereum is going up. And the number of altcoins are going to all-time highs.
Right. So this is the third signal. Your crypto timing model is shifting into bull market mode.
Well, yes and no. Yes, the timing model has shifted into bull market mode. But no, that isn't exactly what my third signal is. It's more specific than that. There's a number of other smaller cycles within that larger crypto market cycle.
I'm not sure I follow. Can you explain a little more about that?
I'll keep it pretty simple because one, the math can be really boring for most laymen, and two, the inner workings of my crypto timing model are proprietary, so I can't give away all of my secrets. But to put it simply, there's a number of 80-day tops and bottoms within these larger bull market cycles.
Okay, so every 80 days there's a top and a bottom?
It's important to note that it's not exact like that. The target is 80 days, but typically they are more like 60 days with a 20-day transition period. As I said, it can get pretty complicated. But what the viewers need to know, when it comes to the third crypto bull signals, the final link in the crypto convergence, is that these cycles rarely continue in the same path for more than 80 days. Extended 80-day cycles are highly accurate predictors of market direction. When one of these bullish cycles go beyond 80 days, it is the surest sign of the beginning of a prolonged bull market. And as the rallies get longer, the corrections get short. Right now, it appears Bitcoin is headed for an extended 80-day bullish cycle that could conclude sometime between now and early March.
I see. And these 80-day cycles happen throughout the bull market, right? I mean, they're bottoms within the overall upwards movement.
That's right, Chris. And you can use these 80-day cycles to maximize your wins and avoid the big losses. Let me show you an example. Investor A, who just buys and holds, versus Investor B, who uses the crypto timing model, including my 80-day cycle tops and bottoms, to buy and sell his crypto. Investor A buys $1,000 worth of Bitcoin when it first starts trading in 2010. He holds through bull and bear markets. He never buys more and he never trades. This investor turns his $1,000 into $544,900,000.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. That's why there are so many Bitcoin millionaires and even some billionaires.
Right. So what about Investor B?
Investor B uses the equivalent of our crypto timing model. He buys near the big cycle bottoms. He sells near cycle tops. He trades. And instead of turning $1,000 into $544,900,000, he turns it into $5,033,190,000.
5 billion?
Billion with a B.
That's a lot more money.
It's 9.2 times more, to be exact.
That is hard to believe. What about Ethereum?
Okay, let's talk about Ethereum. Let's go again with Investor A. He invests $1,000 when Ethereum first starts trading in 2015. He holds through bull and bear markets. Again, he never trades. His $1,000 turns into $1,733,000. Investor B, on the other hand, using our timing model to time the big bottoms and the big tops, will turn the $1,000 into $60,873,000. That is 35.1 times better than Investor A.
And that's also a big difference.
Yes, and overall, if you include the basket of cryptos that we selected for this study over different bull and bear markets, the average outperformance of our model is about 9-1.
Right. Pretty good. And now your proprietary timing model is saying right now that we are in, I think you called it an extended 80-day bullish cycle. That's a surefire sign that we've entered the bull market.
This is the third bullish event for crypto, all happening within the same few weeks. Bitcoin ETF approval has already happened, and the Bitcoin halving is coming in a matter of weeks. Everything is telling me that Bitcoin and other quality cryptocurrencies are going to rise over the next 2 years. If you want to be a part of it, you ought to get in right now.
Right. Well, that brings up another question. Let me just ask you, how should we invest in this bull market, Juan? I mean, what's the best way to get off the sidelines and get into this game, so to speak?
First off, you should only devote a small percentage of your overall portfolio to crypto. I believe in the future of cryptocurrencies, but so much of it is still speculation. You should view it as that way and only allocate an amount you're comfortable with.
Duly noted. I think that is very good advice. I should have said it myself a few minutes ago. Investors never want to get carried away over any one specific investment.
With that being said, I think you need to split your crypto money two ways. You need to park some money in Bitcoin and its partner, Ethereum. In every crypto market, Ethereum tracks Bitcoin's gains, but even higher. In the last bull market, Ethereum made nearly 10 times more than Bitcoin. It's like the silver to Bitcoin's gold. These are the two oldest and most stable coins on the market. And while the gains aren't nearly as high as they can be for some altcoins, they do tend to be steadier.
Well, let's just be clear. In other words, you're saying these two coins are the safer crypto investments out there.
That's right, Chris. If there's going to be a bull market in cryptos, it's going to include Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you'll get the benefits of the bull market with the safety of knowing you're parking your money in two of the most stable coins out there.
Right. So it's well worth it to put nearly half of your crypto portfolio into those stable coins.
But the big money is still in the altcoins. This is where investors have made the truly life-changing gains. Like the 234 times your money investors could have made on Chainlink. That's enough to turn a modest $5,000 investment into $1,170,000. You could retire on that money. Will you be able to do this in this bull market? Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so please keep that in mind. But I have a secret weapon up my sleeve.
That's right. You mentioned the secret weapon earlier. What is it?
Yes, Chris. A tool I use in conjunction with my timing model to help me identify the very best altcoins to play for the biggest gains. Identifying these altcoins can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So I use my mathematical skills to team up with our analysts here at Wise Ratings. And we created the first ever completely independent data-driven rating system for over 1,000 cryptos. The Wise Crypto Ratings have turned out to be a phenomenal tool for predicting which cryptos have promise and which should be avoided. In fact, we've issued 131 buy ratings since we invented the rating system in 2017. The average gain was 342%, and that includes the losers.
Right. So the average buy-rated crypto could have brought readers back 3.5 times their money. And I'm sure some of them have been big winners, right?
Dozens of these buy-rated cryptos could have made investors life-changing gains. Viacoin jumped from 3 cents to $1.79 in just over a year after we rated it a buy. That's a gain of 5,508%. After we reissued a buy rating on Bitcoin in 2017, it jumped 4,464%. And Ethereum gained 4,404%. NEO is up 4,166% since we rated it a buy. And Ripple is up 3,989%.
Wow, a lot of success, big numbers there. So I'm curious, what are the Weiss crypto ratings saying right now, Juan? I mean, which altcoins should we be looking at to buy?
I can tell you in this interview that Bitcoin is currently rated A+, our highest possible rating. And Ethereum isn't far behind at B, though it always tends to trail behind Bitcoin in the early days of bull markets.
Right. What about some of the alternative coins out there? Are there any that stand out to you above the rest?
There are 3 specific coins that I love right now.
Okay, 3 of them. So I'm curious, what is it that makes an altcoin stand out? What is it that you look for that makes it worth loving?
The first thing it needs is a solid technology. Something that's actually going to be worth using in the future. So many of these coins claim to have a true technological use, but it's pretty clear right away when there's nothing there. You want someone with a high-level tech team, a clear purpose for the coin, and an achievable plan to implement it.